All right, well, here we are back once again. Well-readers, Well-Read Nation. It's time for another stirring rendition of Well-Read without Drew. Drew still absconded to parts unknown, running naked through the streets, being wild.
He
and
hadn't
shit.
even texted us in 2 weeks.
No, he does that. He's the type to disappear, which I mean I respect. You know, like he even said, he says ahead of time, "Hey, I'm leaving, and I'm not. Y'all ain't gonna know whether I'm alive or dead during this time, and don't try to determine the answer to that
Right.
question either, because I will refuse to offer you any information." And then that's, by God, that's what he does.
I respect it, because usually, like, I'll start out that way where I won't text for a couple days, but then I'm like, I must report back with how hard I'm hitting.
Yeah, I know you can't help it. You got to give a little hit report after that.
Of course.
But
you don't appreciate it.
Speaking of hitting. No, it's always nice to know how hard you're hitting. Anybody that deals in the show needs to know exactly how hard he's hitting at any given point in time. That's what makes him the show. But speaking of hitting, we had a good idea. We teased it on a recent episode that we were going to do this, and now the time is here. I think, in particular, Drew's absence very explicitly inspired this decision.
Yeah,
Cho.
It did. Surprise, bitches.
Bubba Shout the Podcast, That's right. A show about country at its height. Don't expect no shit from 2005. Bubba Shout the Podcast, That's right.
I gotta say, I did a pretty damn good job on that song. I did a pretty damn good job.
It's been so long since we'd heard it, because it's been so long since we've done this, because Drew, said no. We thought it'd be funny because Drew's not here and this is his baby. He
does not have our blessing.
No, not at all. He's going to be mad. He's definitely going to be mad about it, which is
like real mad.
Yeah, probably. Which is and that's funny. And that's the whole reason we're doing it. And hopefully he can, he can understand that is what makes it funny. It's just, it's just a prank, bro. Now he'll never speak to us
He'll
again.
understand
it won't be that bad.
Perhaps a week later, after he fumes for a while.
But yeah, hell, it's just us. We're just devoting one episode of one episode so far. We'll see how long.
Until he gets back. God damn it! Until he gets back.
But it won't surprise me if he makes an earlier return than previously.
But
it'd be funny also too if like this ends up really hitting and people really like it, and he comes back in and he's like, "I said none of that. We will have none of that."
Well, it seems like that's what he did the first time. It was hitting real hard for everybody, and he was like, "We will not. No, absolutely not. No."
But for this long-awaited return of Bubba Shot the Podcast, Drewless, we did fuck up though. We
didn't call Tushar.
We should have hollered at Tushar.
Well,
man.
send him the link.
That's
just send him the link.
People that
I'll
we
send
didn't
him the
do
link
that.
right now. I'll send him the link right now.
Send it right now. Too. Yeah, if you want to hop on there, this song that he's probably never heard because he didn't even know we were doing it. But if we do this again next week, we definitely have to make sure that Tushar can do it with us.
I don't know. It's so funny because like all I was thinking about was fucking over Drew. You know what I mean?
Drew mad,
Yeah, and then I went to grab the theme song again, and I was like, oh, fuck. Like, we should have called Tushar. I'm sending it to him right now. Will you text him and say, yo, Corey just emailed you a link?
Yeah, I mean, I believe he'd be like, working, but
I know.
We'll find out. Yeah.
But dude, but like, okay, sure, he's at work, but like, that don't mean he won't
still
fuck
hop on
off.
And hit, sure.
Yeah, right. Yeah, what does he do? Indian stuff, and
Indian stuff in the city. By Indian in American context, which I mean, computers are involved. But he's not. It ain't like tech support. It's not that Raven. It's not that Raven.
No. Like he hits.
It's one of those things that it's like it's businessy to where people hear it and they're like, I ain't got no idea what it is that you do, but it seems like you hit at doing it because he's got like a nice apartment and he's like got a team of people. He's over, he's got his minions and stuff. And so whatever it is, he hits at it, but I don't.
He's one of our best friends and we have zero idea what he does, but like he also doesn't talk about it.
I've talked to him about it before I just don't remember. Or again, it's like when he was telling me, I was like, I don't really follow her, but okay.
Right. Because it's above our pay grade.
That's if you want to in the next hour.
That would hit so hard if he could come on. We've really fucked up.
Yeah.
But whatever.
People will be all for us trolling Drew, but that part
This
people
is
are
not
not
going
going
to
to be
fly.
happy about. Yeah.
No, this is not going to fly. He'll have to be here next week. We did pick I think we picked a really good song though to jump back in. I don't know what the last one we did was. I should have looked that up.
I don't either. Yeah.
To see.
Goddamn, it's been so long.
It's been a long. I mean, it's been at least. I mean, it's been. I know it's been over a year. It's probably been 2 years. Probably been long. Fuck, I don't know, dude.
Was it that? I can't remember. You remember we did strawberry wine at the Zany's condo all together?
Yes,
Like,
that was such a
was
Raven
that-
episode. That might have been the last one.
That's what I'm saying. But I can't remember if it was we were getting the band back together or if we were still doing it regularly then. And then that was, but anyway, I feel like that one was near the end, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Yes,
that's
that was
a
a
hell of
Raven
a one
episode.
to close on.
I still look. I know what you. I still stand by everything that happened in that episode. By the way, and I feel like everybody on there. I don't know if y'all even remember, if you're long-term listeners, what we're talking about. I feel like when you talking about how Raven it was like all this age of consent stuff got roped up into it or whatever. And my whole position the whole time was like, I was just trying to say, hey, we don't have to do this.
Yeah, no, that was the Ravenry that Drew insisted. We're doing this.
It's like, it wasn't, that was not me defending any of the dynamics that were present. That was just like me being like, this isn't necessary.
Right. No one's going to cancel us if we're like strawberry wine apologists. It's
not explicit. Of course, it's all implied in the nature of what strawberry wine the song is about, but it's not.
But if it wouldn't hold up in court.
It's not explicitly stated that even is what's happening. So there's no reason for us to talk about it in the context of that being what's happening. And by that, I mean statutory rape.
Also,
and then
I would
evolved into this whole thing about where it's like we're talking about Romeo and Juliet laws in different states and all this shit.
And also, I believe at one point I submitted to the court, I mean, hell. I think that was one of my arguments.
Well, then we even got Andy down there to talk about how like she dated a dude as well. It's like that's also the thing is like you can, however you feel about any of that. The truth is, I don't know if it's still the case in small towns like where we grew up in, but I wouldn't be surprised to hear that it is. But in the fucking 90s and before that, at least, it was a very cultural thing. That's part of why that song hit so hard for people, I think. And,
right.
Meaning like dudes, it was a scourge.
The Wooderson type. Yeah.
Who had been, Wooderson, exactly. Why you think he was such an iconic character? That song
came out the same year as that fucking song did.
Right. It was a thing. Thing, whether you like it or not. So anyway, now that we've gotten back into statutory rape talk again, This one, you said we picked. I didn't pick it. That was a funny bit of ravenery that happened right before the episode started.
You said yes. I say we picked it.
Yeah, I'm all for doing it. It's just funny because before this started, you were like, "Hey, that was a good idea. That good one you picked." And I was like, "I didn't pick this. You picked this." And you're like, "No, you said let's do this." And I was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Yeah." I said, "Okay, we can do that because you had already suggested we do it." And you're like, "No." Mm-mm. And then you're like, "Oh, yep, I did say that. My bad."
This is the difference between me and other artists. I'm constantly giving other people credit for my work. Always. I've always done it.
What was your big idea, Cho?
My big idea, I thought it'd be nice if we did Straight Tequila Night by John Anderson.
It's funny. I'm now remembering this happened every week too. It's like presumably they're going to see the title of the episode and know that already. Do you know what I'm saying?
It. I'll hide it. Yeah,
okay.
Of course they'll know that. No, you're right.
Just say Bubba returns. But we used to do that every episode.
I'm just going to say Bubba returns. I'm just going to say Bubba returns.
That's
so they
fine.
don't know.
But that used to be the recurring thing every episode where it'd be like we would tease what we were. And then every single time be like, oh wait, they can read the title. They already know what it is.
I'll put it in the description. Nobody reads that shit.
No, why would you?
No, they don't. And you know what's funny? Like we've been doing podcasts for almost 9 years now, right?
Yep.
Which is insane to me.
Most of a decade.
It just occurred to me last week. Like I always stress about the podcast description, and it just occurred to me last week. I was like, have you ever read one of these? And I was like, I've never read one of these ever in my life. And by the way, you should, because we put our show dates and links to stuff in there. Like you should, but like I've been stressing like, oh, does that sound stupid? And it's like, dude, they go there when they want a discount. You know what I mean? They just go to find the link, and that's it. Just put that in there, you're good. But whatever.
Yeah, I think, no, you're right. But Straight Tequila Night. by legendary Songsmith and barbecue sauce man.
He had a barbecue sauce?
John Anderson. You didn't know? Really?
No, I didn't know.
Dude, I thought that was
the reason I wanted to do this song.
Well, in part, here's what I definitely thought. I thought John Anderson's barbecue sauce was like ubiquitous throughout the South for sure. I did not realize it was regional. Like I was not expecting you. I was expecting you to be like, God damn, love that shit. But
dude, I mean,
yeah,
I promise. Like, here's how I know I didn't see it because I'd have bought it. You know what I mean? Like, is this just when we were kids?
Let's see. So yeah,
show that beautiful bean footage.
They don't have it no more. Like I guess it's been defunct. That. Yeah, it was. I guess it's been defunct for a very, very long time. But like,
show me a picture of it.
Hang on. I'm trying to find it. I need this.
Because I mean, if it did it have a picture of his face on it?
Yeah, it did.
And I've never seen it because, dude, me, and my dad would have bought that shit.
My dad bought that shit, and my dad didn't even like that type of country music. He just liked the barbecue sauce.
Yeah, your dad. I don't know if we ever talked about this on this show, but like I remember like talking to Earl about like 90s country music. Like there really was part of me that believed. I was like, yeah. Nobody likes the country music of their time, but the 90s is different. Like that was actually good country music. And then like talking to the people that are like one generation or two generations above us, like a lot of them really did feel about 90s country music the same way, almost the same way we feel about current country music. And I remember it just like blowing my mind. But now it's like, well, I get it. That makes sense. But like, and then I listen to songs like this, and I'm like, yeah, but y'all don't mean this one, though. You know what I mean? You don't mean – surely you don't mean this one, though.
Somehow they do. Wow. Okay, so from what I can find – so first of all, I was having trouble finding anything, and I started thinking, I was like, bro, am I wrong? Did you dream this? I vividly remember this, but the only thing I can find – this is so wild. There's a place near my hometown called Francis's Barbecue, right? Shout out Francis's.
Food hit.
And yeah, it did hit. I don't even know if it's still open either, but it's just in my neck of the woods. And on their Facebook page, there's people talking about how, they used John Anderson's barbecue sauce for years, but I think it's different now. And there's a person in the comments like, John Anderson even put his picture on the bottle. And it's like,
man,
maybe it literally was just that one place that was near my hometown, and they had
he did a limited run,
or even just he knew the guy that owned it or whatever, and that guy was like, "Hey, can I put your name on this?" And he said yes or something. I don't know.
Right.
But I did not mean to derail it with this. I genuinely thought that
derail it with this.
Because the only other thing I can find is from the Barbecue Brethren Forum, which I assume your dad is an active participant in, probably
without
moderator.
Question.
A moderator of this particular forum.
My dad doesn't do anything in moderation. Thank you very much.
And in the forum, in a post from 2013, they're talking about Monroe County, which is where
Francis was.
Where Francis was, and it says my wife said they used to use John Anderson's barbecue sauce.
This is kind of crazy.
So. Yeah, I thought everybody had it, but I guess only we in the very far upper Cumberland and upper Cumberland of Tennessee and lower middle part of Kentucky.
Is that where John Anderson's from?
We're blessed with John Anderson's particular brand of barbecue sauce. This is blowing my mind.
And I should know this. Is that where he's from? And I should know this. I was going to do some biographical stuff on John Anderson, but then I realized, like, we already did Seminole Wind, so we don't have to get into all that.
No, well, you just said Seminole Wind. He's from Florida. Which makes sense.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Straight Tequila Night, by the way, was on the album Seminole Wind, organically throwing that in.
Nice. Man, I don't know. Like I said, I just thought when I said he was a barbecue sauce man, I expect you to be like, oh, that was the shit, wasn't it? And now it's like finding out that nobody knows about this stuff but Selenians.
I'm really glad that you found out that only Selenians know about it, because I was about to feel like my red cred was about to be called into check because I didn't know about John Anderson's barbecue sauce.
Apparently it's way more regional or whatever.
That's kind of crazy because your regional shit, your region don't hit, so like the fact that y'all got a hit.
the only other country music related thing I can think of from my region
Dumas
is
Walker.
I was about to say I'm from where Dumas Walker's was. Dumas Walker's was a an actual like little roadside country store that even it was closed down by the time I was a child. But like my
Right.
dad and them used to fuck with it and everything. And the Kentucky Headhunters, they're from. So I grew up on the Tennessee side of the Kentucky line. They're the Kentucky Headhunters, i.e., right across the line, like from that part of Kentucky specifically. So their song, their biggest hit, Dumas Walkers, that was in Clay County, my hometown, and that's about it.
Well, y'all got that lake, but doesn't that
like
make
it's
you
home of the world record smallmouth bass. But I was just I was talking about country music stuff, but I mean even that we got the bass and Dumas Walkers and the 1994 Marbles champion and John
Marbles
Anderson's
or Marlboro champion.
Marbles,
Okay,
like the game Marbles.
Marbles champion. Yeah,
it was a girl. I can't remember her name. She was older than me. But she was in high school at the time, and I was 8, so I was like in elementary school. She was in high school, and she was on the cover of Sports Illustrated for Kids.
That's crazy.
1994.
I definitely saw her.
Marbles champion.
Yeah,
from Salina, Tennessee, on the cover of SI for Kids. It was a big deal.
I know you didn't have any money, but you had a library card. Did you fuck with Sports Illustrated for Kids?
Oh yeah. Of course.
That was my shit.
And then later, I was a big magazine guy. You said I didn't have any money, but that was one of those things where it's like I also used to get those free. I used to get those subscriptions to like CDs, like they'd send you CDs in the mail. Well, that much like with magazines, you could basically just steal them, sort of, by just like signing up and never really paying for it or whatever. So like I always kind of had magazines and shit.
And you could go to the. Did y'all have like a recycling center?
Yeah, but
we would go. But we had a recycling center. It was our favorite place to go because they had like all these sections in it, and it was just like it's sort of like how storage buildings are now, except for they were open and there was just a little tub, and like one section would be where you throw your bottles and then your cans and then your refuse or whatever, and then there was a whole place just to stick magazines. And it was right behind our baseball field. So after baseball practice, because like our parents would leave and then we could ride our bikes home or whatever, but we would be like, oh, we're going to play wall ball back here. And we would play wall ball for a second just to throw them off. But then we would go to the recycling center and like be like Scrooge McDuck, except for we're diving into magazines looking for fucking Playboys. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But also, like that was the prize. The big prize was the Playboy. And not only did you find the Playboy, but like the people who were recycling their Playboys, they don't think to take their name and address off the subscription thing. So you could, not only would you find the Playboy, you would see whose daddy is subscribed to Playboy so that you would know like, okay, this where we go. Like we need to go home with this kid because we can probably get liquor. You know what I mean? Like if his daddy's recycling Playboys, that's where that's the house right there. But anyways, we would go through there and just like get, we'd pick out obviously all the Playboys, which were like, they were not a dime a dozen, it was hard to find one. We'd mainly be getting Auto Traders and you remember the Concept Car magazine? They're like all it was, the whole thing was just a whole magazine full of like cars that weren't in production, but they were just conceptual, and it would be like the shit of the future. You know what I mean? And not one thing in there looked as fucking stupid as a Cybertruck. Not one thing. Not one goddamn thing.
No, you're 100% right. That's true. I found one other thing that we'll move on to actual Straight Tequila Night. But
no, we're fine. Keep going.
I found an article from 1996 in the Chicago Tribune. I don't know what the Chicago Tribune
wrote it.
Don't know what they were doing writing about this in particular in 1996, but it says John Anderson sings of another interest, his own restaurant. John Anderson, who wrote and recorded the national pop hit Swingin' in 1982, made a formal reputation as a pioneer of Nashville new traditionalism, has had a hidden avocation during his years of singing stardom, as he recently demonstrated to a crowd of some 50 neighbors in rural Smithville, Tennessee. Smithville is like 15 minutes outside of Cookeville, so it's less than an hour from where I'm from, by the way. So Smithville is also the Upper Cumberland, so it's in my neck of the woods. As he recently demonstrated to a crowd of some 50 neighbors in Smithville, Tennessee, Anderson is a country-style chef. It is not yet open. John Anderson's Steakhouse on 400 scenic acres He will have yada yada yada: roast pork, barbecue chicken, salad, sweet yeast rolls, bread, pudding. Most of the food cooked according to his own personal recipes. Says that he's got a quote from in here. Says, "I got a boy from Oklahoma. I've been training for a year to cook, and we're getting another who's graduating from culinary school in Louisiana. So,
Oh shit,
doing it right." But anyway, he don't specifically say in here that he bottled his own barbecue sauce, but I feel like I'm pretty sure I ain't crazy. You know,
no,
is all
you're
I'm
not
saying.
crazy.
Like,
I think it might have been a limited run, and y'all had it. You know what I mean?
And
By the way,
they had it up there at Francis's or just in my general neck of the woods. We had
listening
it. But,
to all this, like how close you are to Kentucky, and listening to all this country music history that takes place around that part and whatever, isn't it like increasingly more insane to you that people have differing opinions on whether Kentucky's the South or not?
yeah, again, I think that most of that comes down to the fact that like the
They weren't in a
cities that
war.
are in. Well, I mean, yes, but I think that's like Louisville is not very southy. You know what I mean?
But neither is
Like,
Atlanta.
right. That's true. That's a good
You know
point.
what I mean? Like you can say that anywhere. Like I did a bit on stage when we were in Atlanta is like all, and I know we've talked about in the book where it's like the South don't get credit when it's a cool city. You know what I mean? Like if it's a cool city, they just go, no, that's not really the South. You know what I mean? And it's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, what are you? They're like, well, that's not really the South. And it's like Oxford, all these places. They're like, well, not really. I'm like, no, what you mean is it's not redneck. But South and redneck are not synonyms. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right.
Like,
no, you're right.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying, like, no,
Well,
Kentucky.
it's all, but Louisville though, I just think, Kentucky, the part of Kentucky I grew up near, which is the part that borders Tennessee and like southeast Kentucky and coal country and all that, is 100% South, very much so. But that northern part of Kentucky though, like bordering Ohio and shit,
Well, yeah,
even
fuck
outside
them.
of Louisville, Kentucky is, it's different sort of. But anyway, we don't need to relitigate all that because
That's fine.
it wasn't
I'm just
even that
saying
long
they've got
ago we
Billman
got into
Road.
all that Kentucky talk, either on this show or on POA. I can't remember, but yeah, but we got into all that. Anyway, John Anderson was a hobbyist chef, and I am confident had a barbecue sauce that I thought was a much bigger deal than it is. So anyway, go ahead.
Well, there you go. Straight Tequila Night, y'all. Here's the facts, as Drew would like to say. Obviously, the artist is John Anderson, our boy. The album was Seminole Wind. They released it on December 2nd, 1991. That was as a single. It was on B&A Records, and the songwriters are Debbie Hupp and Kent Robbins, both of whom I'm fairly certain have come up on this show before. I can't remember for which songs. And James Stroud produced it. Straight Tequila Night is about a man at a bar warning another man about a woman who comes in regularly. The key detail here being, of course, if she's drinking white wine, it's fine. She's friendly and fun-loving, But if she's on a straight tequila night, well, she's likely to get emotional and volatile due to a past heartbreak. It's great storytelling. It's wonderful. On the charts, it was John Anderson's first number one hit since 1983, probably with Swingin'. I would say.
Yeah.
With Swingin'. On the Canadian country tracks, it hit number one, and it was a huge comeback hit for Anderson. Like, it really reignited his career after he had sort of a rough patch in the late 1980s. I mean, he came on the scene hot and heavy. And then this album right here, Seminole Wind, was a lot of people sort of had written John Anderson off as like, oh, that was a guy from the 80s, whatever, he ain't shit. And then he comes back with this on the Seminole Wind album, which went, I believe, double platinum. I got it in my notes for later. But it was a huge comeback song for him. And like I said, the writers were Kent Robbins, who was a huge prolific country songwriter. He wrote stuff for George Strait, the Judds, Reba McEntire.
Yeah, I've got a couple of those pulled up. He wrote, among many, many other things, Every Light in the House by Trace Atkins.
Fire, that's his best song.
Her Man and It Would Be You by Gary Allen, Straight Tequila Night by John Anderson. Again, there's way more. I'm just picking
You've already described enough hits to where he got a house and never had to work again.
Write This Down by George Strait, huge
Fire.
And then let's see. Do you know the song by John Anderson called "She Just Started Liking Cheating Songs"?
Yes, she just started liking cheating songs.
Yeah, I don't think I know that one. But I
dude.
sure do like the name of it though.
Yeah, it's great. It's about him. Like, I'm pretty sure if I can remember correctly, it's about him like realizing, oh shit, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like something.
It's funny to think that like a woman who starts cheating would then start playing nothing but cheating songs all the time.
Imagine
be like,
playing,
I don't know what it is about this. Something about this just speaks to me.
Yeah, like imagine playing "Goodbye Earl" on repeat 10 days before you murder your husband, just like in the car.
Yeah,
hey, you know what I mean?
Because, and I don't know, men are different. Men are like oblivious. But I tell you this, I know in reverse. Sometimes I'll hear it because I've said before, like ever since I've had a Peloton, I'll hear some random ass shit sometimes that I never would have found or listened to in a million years before. Right. For example, a song by like Dua Lipa. Right.
Yeah.
And
that
all I'm
means
saying
hey, by the way, for everybody that don't know, that means two Lipas.
Two of Lipas.
Yeah.
But she got this. It's like it goes something like "Walk away, you know how." If you see me, like basically it's a breakup song, but I'm crushing it now is the theme of it, right? I'm out.
By Toby Keith.
I'm out at the club. I'm hitting. I'm over you. Go fuck yourself. That's what it's about. I don't care what it's about. I just like the song. It's just a fun song.
Good beat.
But like,
got enough beats per minute.
Point is, Katie, right, is like, I played it a few times. Whatever. It's like, yeah, you're fucking Dua Lipa. This song's great or whatever. Like she would be like, what is it with this song, by the way? Like, why is it this song specifically?
Yeah.
Are you trying to tell me something like that? And I'm like, what? No, I just like the sound. I just like the song. What the fuck are you talking about? So I'm just saying,
it's so funny.
I can just say that if I started playing exclusively cheating songs, Katie would absolutely pick up on it. It would be a crazy decision on my part to do that, you know.
I bet Amber has so many memories of me whiskey drunk, just sitting there fucking blasting the music and staring at her going, I'm thinking about cranking this ragged old truck up and driving my ass into town. Yeah, which is I mean, tell me that you ain't. I mean, that's the number one That's the number one old boy song to listen to after
when
your
wife
wife has
your woman.
God,
absolutely, bro.
And I'll tell you what, though, it gets you through it.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say it's like it don't. It both does and does not help. Like if you've had an argument, with your woman, and it's like, you know, whatever. Maybe you were out of line, maybe she was,
bias,
whatever.
That's for sure.
That's what I'm saying. And then you play "Ragged Old Truck" by Billy Joe Shaver. You're gonna go straight to "fuck that bitch" in your head, no matter what happens, no matter what the specifics of it are. Like if you've had an argument and you listen to that song, she is not gonna hit for you after that.
No.
Like you're not,
but
you don't
but
come
again,
out of
you'll
that
have
song
a few
going
beers.
like, oh, I should say I'm sorry. You know,
no,
you don't
but I'm
do
saying
that.
Like you'll listen to it, you'll have a few beers, and the song hits so hard that your dopamine reactors will be like, "Oh, life's worth living." Whatever.
Cathartic, I suppose.
It's cathartic.
It's somewhat cathartic. Well, we should probably discuss Straight Tequila Night a little bit more since that's the subject of the episode. But first, I think we need to take a quick break and hear from our sponsors. That's what I think.
You are
beginning
correct.
with
Trae.
Squarespace, everybody. Well, to tell you about Squarespace, this episode is sponsored once again by them, which we appreciate. Squarespace is the all-in-one website platform designed to help you stand out and succeed down there on the internet there. Whether you're just starting out or scaling your business, Squarespace gives you everything you need to claim your domain, showcase your offerings with a professional website, grow your brand, get paid, all in one place. All right, Squarespace, you know, getting into comedy, all these things come up that you didn't really expect when you're just like, I just want to go talk about my wiener on stage.
Yep.
And one of them is, I gotta learn how I got to make a website. You gotta have a web. Like I didn't go to website school. What am I supposed to do? I don't know how to do that. Right. And it's like very, very daunting, and I'm very computer dumb, very website dumb, but Squarespace makes it exceedingly easy, like easy enough. And it's like intuitive enough that even a complete dumbass like myself can handle it, which means you can handle it too. They got everything you need all in one place. They've got they got consultations to events and experiences. You can showcase your offerings with a customizable website designed to attract clients and grow your business. You get paid on time with professional on-brand invoices and online payments. You can streamline your workflow with built-in appointment scheduling and email marketing tools. You can get discovered fast with integrated Squarespace SEO tools, search engine optimization, the name of the game, as we all know at this point. Every website is optimized to be indexed with meta descriptions and auto-generated sitemap and more, so you show up more often on search engines and bring in more of your own ideal customers. Absolutely vital. And most importantly, like I said, Squarespace makes it easy to showcase your expertise and engage with your client with video content on your website as well. You can organize and upload your own videos and stunning video libraries, and even monetize your content by adding a paywall if you see fit. So if you got online courses or tutorials you're doing, teaching people stuff, doing workshops, Squarespace is set up for it. They've got intuitive built-in analytics tools as well to help you make smarter business decisions. They got literally everything you need. So check out squarespace.com/wellread for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, use the offer code WELLREAD to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Check out squarespace.com/wellread, that's WELL-RED, as y'all know, for a free trial. And whenever you're ready to launch, use the offer code WELL-RED, offer code WELLREAD, to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Squarespace, they hit. We appreciate them sponsoring the show.
They do hit. You know what else hits? College basketball. And when it comes to college basketball and March Mania, one thing is for sure, and that's nothing is for sure. Upsets, buzzer beaters, Cinderella's advancing, top seeds going home early. It's all going to happen. It all has been happening. Bet the unexpected. Every upset, every day with DraftKings Sportsbook. With live betting, exclusive content, promos, and parlays, DraftKings is the ultimate college basketball destination for March. First time, here's something special just for you. New DraftKings customers bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Here's how I would use that, by the way. I would take my $5 to get my free $200 bonus bets, and then I would throw it all on whoever Tennessee is playing next, because Trae's a fan of Tennessee and things don't go his way. Or even better, make a futures bet, right? Make a futures bet that the Raiders lose every single game next year, and that's probably going to pay out pretty heavy for you, again, based on the fact that Trae Crowder is a huge fan of them and nothing ever goes his way. It's great. It's a fun experience. I love it. Also, by the way, you could just get that and then maybe save that money and bet on the Chiefs next year, because you know they're going to come back. Bet the unexpected with DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code WELLREAD. That's code WELLREAD, WELLRED. For new customers, get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available. Problem gambling? Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resorts in Kansas. 21 plus, age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. New customers only. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming sources, see dkng.co/audio. And we thank DraftKings for sponsoring this podcast.
Yes, we do. Also, thanks to Via for sponsoring the podcast. Y'all remember when you could function on just 4 hours of sleep, those halcyon days of youthful productivity?
Barely.
Yeah, those days are gone forever. You're old, you don't hit. That's me too. I'm old, I don't hit. Show's old, he don't hit. And when you're old and you don't hit, you need to sleep. You need your sleep worse than ever. But unfortunately, another part of being old and not hitting is it can be hard to sleep. But don't worry, our sponsor, Via, has got something to help you sleep like a log. Big old fat not hitting log, but one that sleeps all through the night and into the morning. Or at least you can stop waking up in the morning feeling like an actual log with Via. 500,000 happy customers can't be wrong. Via is changing the game in natural wellness, combining high-quality hemp-derived ingredients with powerful cannabinoids to create real effect-driven results, not just a fancy package and empty promises, all right? If you want better sleep or if you want more focus, a little boost in the bedroom even, maybe you just want to chill out because your stress levels are currently at screaming into the void status. This was written for me in particular. Whatever you need, Via has a solution for you. And here's the best part: Via lets you customize your own experience, whether you're looking for daily wellness, laser focus, or deep relaxation, aka the kind of chill that makes you one with your couch. VIA has it with products ranging from 0 to high cannabinoid levels. They've got options for everybody. We're talking award-winning effect-forward gummies to calming drops, all made with organic lab-tested hemp from trusted independent American farms. No mystery gas station nonsense. And you don't have to jump through hoops or get some weird doctor's note. VIA legally ships nationwide discreetly, because let's be real, your nosy neighbors don't need to know your business. No medical card required, no sketchy parking lot meetups. Just straight to your door with a worry-free guarantee. If you're not sure where to start, no worries. VIA has a product finder quiz that will hook you up with the perfect match in less than 60 seconds, which, let's be honest, that's less time than it takes to decide what to watch on Netflix. So if you're 21 plus, if you're over 21, and we know you are, treat yourself to 15% off and get a free gift with your first order using our exclusive code WELLREAD at viahemp.com. Plus, enjoy free shipping on orders over $100. That's VIIAHEMP.com with the code WELLREAD. Unlock the power of nature with VIA's organic and vegan hemp extracts. VIA is the only lifestyle hemp brand. They got products ranging from 0 to 100 milligrams of THC. So whether you're a complete lightweight like me or an OG like some of our comedian buddies, they got whatever you need. Over 500,000 customers served. VIA as an industry leader. They're made right here in the U.S. of A., farmed and crafted with care in these United States of America. They offer award-winning service, quality ingredients, and they are affordable and accessible. So like I said, if you're 21 or older, check out the link to VIA in our description. Use the code WELLREAD to receive 15% off, free shipping on orders over $100. And if you're new to VIA, get a free gift of your choice. After you purchase, they ask you where you heard about them, so support our show and tell them that we sent you. We here at Well Read. Enhance your everyday with VIA. VIIA. They hit, and we thank them for sponsoring the podcast. All right.
You know who else hits, Trae?
John Anderson.
John Anderson, and also Debbie Hupp, who was the other writer of this song. We gave Kent Robbins his shine, so I wanted to make sure that everybody knew that Debbie Hupp also co-wrote You Decorated My Life for Kenny Rogers, among a lot, which was the inspiration for my T-shirt today. Look at that sumbitch right there.
That's awesome.
Rest in peace, dude. Look how badass that sumbitch looks right here. Kenny Rogers.
Does it?
Yeah, absolutely. The song had actually been circulating for like years before Anderson cut it. So it was one of those that, like, you know, I assume back in the day in Nashville how it worked was, I mean, not all the time, but like you had your publishing companies who like literally had songwriters in like cubicle situations where they'd sit there all day and come up with stuff. Here, I got this, send it to this person. But a lot of times what happened, and I didn't find anything on how the song got handed off, but like you're familiar with the Bluebird Cafe, correct?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
well, the Bluebird Cafe,
songwriter spot in Nashville. There.
Yeah, and they used to have a show. You know, it was live from the Bluebird. But before that, and still to this day, the Bluebird is a spot where songwriters who aren't necessarily. I mean, sometimes Vince Gill goes there. There's people with names, but like you go up and like all you are, like all these people are, and all they want to be is songwriters, and they'll go debut their songs. And like a lot of times, that's how songs got sold. Was you go play it at the Bluebird and you don't know who in there is listening, whether it be the artist themselves, whether it be a producer, whether it be someone that's friends with them. So it could have been one of them situations where like this song, Straight Tequila Night, had just been, you know, rotating around at the Bluebird, and finally someone decided like, I want to do this. Like there was at one, like Reba McEntire said before, she's like, this is her favorite song that she never recorded, and that she sort of wished that she had picked up on it, which would have been interesting coming from a woman's perspective. And that's the thing about this song is like, it's coming from I guess not ubiquitous, but
genderless and androgynous, a neutral,
a narrator that's what's God? He's both ubiquitous and
omnipotent.
Yeah, this is coming from an omniscient narrator. Like, you know, like it's a dude telling a dude, but like he knows everything. Like it doesn't matter that it's a dude. Is what I'm saying.
I'd say it don't have to be a dude. It could be a woman bartender or whatever. In that case, if it's coming from a woman, it's more what's the word? Sympathetic or whatever.
Sympathetic, and also like,
you know what I mean? It's like, that's my homegirl, and I know how that goes. Type of feeling versus like, hey, she ain't gonna give it up tonight.
Yeah, that's true. But I do feel like this song is still a little sympathetic. Like it's not entirely misogynistic or anything. Like the dude's basically saying, like, man, she been through hell, dog. You know what I mean?
And you
like,
don't want to fuck with her,
and you don't want to
like,
fuck with her. Yeah, because matter of
she ain't
fact,
gonna
dude,
take no shit.
Matter of fact, dude, the complete misogynistic view would be like, oh, she's having a straight tequila night. She's very vulnerable. Go fuck
get
with
in
her.
there.
Yeah, get in there, right? But this dude's being like, hey, soldier, like this is her time. You know what I mean? But like I said, also it was a career resurgence for John Anderson, who as soon as he heard the demo, he saw the potential. He loved the layered emotions and it was very real.
See,
and
this is one to me that it's so wild to me
that it didn't work for somebody else.
This particular song could have like needed to float around. I can't believe that any professional country music person ever heard this song and was like, nah, I just don't see it. You know, like that blows my mind that it took years before John Anderson was like, I think we might have a diamond in the rough here. Cause to me, it's just like, just a can't miss chart topping gem straight out of the fucking gate, dude. It's got that good hook. It's clever. Don't ask her on a straight tequila night. It's like, you don't even have to, you just know what that means. Do you know what I mean? It's just, I don't know. It just hits.
I'm with you. Like the only thing I can use to like play devil's advocate is to say that like, maybe the person who wrote it and was also playing it just on an acoustic guitar, like maybe their arrangement of the song was completely different than what we hear from John Anderson. You know what I mean? Like maybe like the way they just weren't selling it somehow. But I agree with you that if you
was just bad or something.
Bad, yeah. Or like, but I'm with you, and like I feel like if I just read the lyrics on a sheet of paper, I would have been like, I would have been like,
just reading.
Exactly. Yeah. No, I'm with you 100%, dude. But like I said, Anderson, he'd had a pretty rough stretch from the 80s. Like he'd had Swingin' in '83, that made him a household name. But by the late decade, he'd kind of sort of tapered off. But then he signs with B&A Records, releases Seminole Wind, and he's back, baby. And Seminole Wind, the album that this song is on, it went double platinum, which like platinum's good enough. But double platinum's fire. It's considered one of the best country albums of the 90s, let alone this being one of the best singles of the 90s. And he had a lot of hits. Like, I don't know, like, there have been quotes from several people that are like, oh, this is his most enduring song, or this is like, whatever. And like, I'm like, I think I agree, but Seminole Wind to me is like more of a signature for him. I can't, maybe it's personal taste or something. Like, I would rather hear this song because it doesn't make me sad, but I think Seminole Wind is like what he's known for.
Okay, well, I was going to say I'm on the other side from you, but actually no. Now that I feel the exact. I think Seminole Wind is his more signature defining song, but like this song hits harder for me
harder. Me too.
Personally.
Agreed.
And I love Seminole Wind rules, but like
Seminole Wind rules. I love that song. I think it's great, but I personally would rather hear Swingin'. I would rather hear Wild and Blue. That Wild and Blue might be my favorite John Anderson song, frankly. Wild and Blue rules. And surprisingly, it's like, even though it might be his most covered song, it's still his least popular of like all his hits. Nobody ever brings up Wild and Blue, even though like I've heard so many bands like cover it. But it was on his like 82 album or something like that. But
it's wild. I didn't realize. I mean, I did. I don't know.
You didn't know Wild and Blue was him?
No. I knew. I didn't know that he popped, fell off, and then a decade later had a big comeback with these. Because in my head, as a kid, when this was out, it's like he was just one of those guys.
Yeah.
Right. He's just one of those guys that was just part of it. He just hid in the 90s. It makes it kind of a cooler story that he had like fallen off. And then
it's a way cooler story. But yeah, we didn't.
I mean, 10 years is a long time,
Dude, like, in the entertainment business, that might as well be your whole lifetime. Yeah, dude, 10 years is insane. I mean, that was when you put out your first video.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but I mean, you're just doing about. You haven't had a career fall off. It just never went anywhere. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, you can't compare yourself to John Anderson. He had some hits. You know what I mean?
And then stopped hitting.
He did hit.
I just never started hitting.
You just never hit. But no, for real.
It is easier that way.
But hey, for real, I mean, 10 years, especially in the – now, granted, he's got a lot going for him in the sense that he's a white man. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
If he'd have been a woman and not had a hit for 10 years, I mean, he's entirely, completely screwed. But yeah, no, it was a resurgence for him. I'm trying to think of like if there's been anyone that we know. Sorry, my son's crying. If there's been anyone like that I can think of that had this happen to, like I remember when before I say this, I know that George Strait never took 10 years off, but I remember when he put out Troubadour, it seemed like it'd been a minute, and it was like, oh, George Strait's back. You know what I mean? But like, it doesn't happen. It is more often what happens is that you never hear from that motherfucker again. That's more often what happens, but not the case in this one. And do you happen to have the lyrics pulled up?
I do.
Do you want to run us through them?
Yeah, so start first verse. If you really want to know, she comes here a lot. She just loves to hear the music and dance. K13 is her favorite song. If you play it, you might have a chance.
If you play it, you might have a chance. I want to know, what do you think K13 is?
Damn it. I should have foreseen that coming.
What do you think it is? Like he stopped loving her to she's dancing though, so it's got to be a dance song.
Like a Judge song.
Is it country?
Or something.
But is it country?
Oh yeah, I mean, I guess it could don't even have pour some sugar on me.
Yeah, I was about to say it. Don't even have to be country.
Drunk,
you know what I mean?
In a bar, they love that one. A little Def Lep. I mean, that's a good point.
We have to come at it though. Like, let's try to be real to the song. Like, she is going through a breakup, and women that are going through a breakup often either like songs about breakups or empowering songs that have nothing to do. Like All the Single Ladies is probably an anthem for girls that get broken up with now.
This is from 1992. Well, actually, this is not. It doesn't.
So
we'll
say 1989 is when the song was written.
Yeah, I was gonna say it don't have that single ladies. Whatever. I don't know if you've ever been in a bar even to this day when people are drunk and women in there especially are drunk, and the song I Want to Dance with Somebody by Whitney Houston comes on.
Goes
crazy, dog. People fucking, that song is fire in terms of like making a woman want to dance to it. Not just a woman, just anybody really. But if people are drinking in a bar, it's like that. And that's from the 80s, right? That's got to be. Is that a 90s song? I'm not
What's
sure.
What's the song again?
I Want to Dance with Somebody by Whitney Houston.
No, I think it's 80s. Hold on, I'll look it up. I wanna dance with somebody. It is 87. It could have been. Hey, that works out perfect. It could have been this one.
But I feel like in the country world, it's probably also a country song. But I'm gonna be honest. I'm not great with 80s era country music.
Me either,
really.
because it was very overproduced.
I know some of the old like classic country and shit from before that, and then 90s I'm familiar with, but like 80s country, I don't know. That's going to be a hard pull for me.
Okay.
The Judge probably had a song like that.
Islands in the Stream by Kenny Rogers and Dolly Parton came out, and this song was co-written by a Kenny Rogers writer. Forever and Ever, Amen. That's not a dance song, though. All My Exes Live in Texas, 87. Guitars and Cadillacs by Dwight Yoakam, 1985. Fishing in the Dark by Nitty Gritty Dirt Band, 1987.
Fishing in the Dark's from 1987? I didn't know that.
I Was Country When Country Wasn't Cool by Barbara Mandrell, 81. Seven Spanish Angels, Ray Charles, 1985. It could have been Swinging by John Anderson. Let's stay in house. It could have been Swinging by John Anderson. Also, Elvira, I'd Love to Lay You Down by Conway Twitty. Dixieland Delight, 83. You said The Judge. They released Grandpa, Tell Me About the Good Old Days in 85. That's not really a honky-tonk, I'm going to dance to this song. When You Say Nothing at All by Keith Whitley.
Yeah, but again,
dancing.
It says, she just loves to hear the music and dance.
That's true.
Like,
Baby's Got Her Blue Jeans On, 1984.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's
not bad. Yeah, now that I'm thinking about dancing songs, if you're going to play in Texas, you got to have a fiddle in the band. That's Alabama, 1984. That's a good one. That could have worked. That's not a dance song. Louisiana Saturday Night by Mel McDaniel. Could have been the one. That's a good one. Yep, could have been the one. I'm gonna vote right now and say that it's Swinging by John Anderson. I'm going to be meta.
All right.
I'm going to be
That
meta.
hits for me.
Yeah.
And then the verse continues. Tonight, she's only sipping white wine. She's friendly and fun-loving most of the time. And then the chorus starts. But don't ask her on a straight tequila night. She'll start thinking about him, and she's ready to fight. Blames her broken heart on every man in sight on a straight tequila night. Then
It's
the
beautiful.
next verse. Here's a glass of Chablis, some quarters and change. Maybe you can turn her love life around.
Yeah.
Then she won't need the salt or the lime anymore to shoot that old memory down. Just remember her heart's on the mend. If you ever come back to see her again, don't ask her on a straight tequila night. And then the chorus then plays 4 more times, and that's it.
Name one thing Bob Dylan did better than this.
Sure, buddy, Dave.
Come on, dude.
Barking up the wrong tree if you're expecting me to come through with that one.
I'm not kidding, buddy. I love Bob Dylan. I was listening to Bob Dylan earlier today.
Don't.
Oh, right. Oh, but your dad did, didn't he?
No. I don't. Look. Don't get me wrong. I ain't trying to get no hate mail or whatever. I'm just saying I'm not the guy who's going to go to bat for Bob Dylan is all I'm saying. He was never my dad, like he respected Bob Dylan, like for sure, but he never really like listened to Bob Dylan. And, I don't know. I mean, I know he's got some bangers. He's got a million songs and all that stuff. It's just,
I saw this.
He just ain't really my thing. So I me personally, I'll take John Anderson over Bob Dylan.
For sure. For sure. I mean, you famously said that DMX is better than John Lennon, which that's two different things. Yeah.
Stand by that. Yeah.
I saw this tweet the other day that was like, person who has listened to one Bob Dylan song, Bob Dylan's the greatest artist ever. Person that's listened to 20 Bob Dylan songs, Bob Dylan sucks. Person that's listened to 100 Bob Dylan songs, Bob Dylan's the greatest artist ever. Person that's listened to 500 Dylan songs, Bob Dylan sucks, and that really is kind of it. Like, he obviously the ones that are bangers, and then you go deep into his catalog, and you're like, wow, he wrote so many great songs, and then you go so deep into his catalog that you're like, Bob, every journal entry didn't have to have a guitar.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you could have just not done that. But this song is absolutely fantastic. I personally love. My favorite part is the use of the word Chablis.
Yeah,
it provides a good juxtaposition of what's really going on. Like hearing a woman, like a redneck woman, order Chablis in a redneck bar always does it for me, because that's our people. Like it's putting on airs a little bit. Like trying to be a little bit above our station, because that Chablis, number one, it's probably just Chardonnay. It's probably just, it's not that or whatever, or nobody knows what it is.
Well, there's another aspect to this, in my opinion. It's like, this is sort of a callback in the first verse. The bartender explicitly says, tonight she's only sipping white wine. She's friendly and fun-loving most of the time. So I think you could interpret this as the bartender, but maybe the white wine she's drinking, it may not even be Chablis or whatever.
Right.
It's like it's like trying to impress her. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's
yes. Here's a glass of Chablis. Yeah.
Yeah. And, this will make you seem fancy and, like a gentleman. If you come up with Chablis, if you walk up, it's like, here's some barefoot shit. I got you. But, if you walk up with like Chablis for the lady.
How's your ex-husband, bitch? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I like it. The bartender, but it's nice because the bartender is both trying to hook this guy up, but also seemingly protecting this woman's feelings.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, he cares about this woman, because he's telling this guy, he's like, hey, listen, just so you know, like, you gotta get the fuck out of Dodge if she goes on about this. Like, I don't want you to go in there and try to, like, be using this to manipulate her. Like, she's going through some stuff, and maybe tonight's the night, but if not, like, she's my customer. I don't know you, bitch.
Yeah. Yeah, and he's like rooting for him too, rooting for both him and her, because then he says, maybe you can be the one, maybe you can turn her love life around.
Right.
Then she won't need the salt or the lime anymore to shoot that old memory down. So it's
great
like,
line.
Hey, it would hit for me if you.
Yeah, it'd be great. I'd love to never see her again,
because I feel bad for her, and I'd like to see her get over this or whatever. So, but in the meantime,
watch out, buddy.
Be careful. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's a great song. I love the use of the narrator for that. I love a lot of songs like that when the songwriter is not in it themselves, really.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think my favorite example of that is like, Jason Isbell always cited that the biggest inspiration he had in songwriting was when he heard Angel from Montgomery by John Prine, because he goes, wait a minute, he's not an old woman.
Mm-hmm.
And it sort of made him realize, like, oh, you can write about anything. You don't have to be,
Right.
It doesn't have to be about you. It can be about somebody else. And that's another reason I love this song is like, the singer is not playing the scorned man or the scorned woman. He's just someone that's like there. He's God in this scenario. You know what I mean? And I enjoy songs like that.
Yeah, I do too. It does hit for me. We got was it a scale of 3 Earnhardts?
3 Earnhardts. Yeah, I believe it's scale of 3 Earnhardts. I think so.
It's been so long.
It's been, that's how it is now. And I personally, I got to give it 3 Earnhardts.
Yeah, I mean, I think I will too. Just, been a long time. We're dipping our toes back in. This is definitely a bang. It's like if we had been going this whole time and doing all these songs, it's like I don't know where I would rate it with a fresh set of all these other hits in my head and knowing what I had rated them. But having not rated one in a while, this is definitely a top shelf banger for me. So
I wouldn't have picked it if I didn't feel that way. So it's got to be 3 Earnhardts for me. Fantastic song. John Anderson is a fantastic artist, and frankly, we got to look up we got to find that recipe for John Anderson barbecue sauce, and one of us has to make it.
Yeah, I'd like to try. I'm telling you, man, I can't find even hardly much of a mention of it. Although
that's crazy, man.
Found enough to support me thinking that I'm not wrong about it,
right.
but not much more than that. But anyway, yeah, that was Straight Tequila Night by John Anderson. This has been Bubba Shot the Podcast once again, an unexpected bonus edition for you. All these many months, many moons later, there you have it. But come see me on the road. Next is Northwest Arkansas, Lowell, up there near Fayetteville and Bentonville in that area. One of my favorite parts of the South, and that's the truth. Always have great times there. Go see me at the Grove next weekend, and then after that, Portland and Eugene, Oregon. That also hits for me, and a bunch of other fun places in their future. Houston, and then most especially, mid-April, April 11th and 12th, respectively. Knoxville with Drew, as long as he comes back from, the abyss by then. Knoxville with Drew on the 11th, and then the 12th, Chattanooga with the Cho himself. So go to TraeCrowder.com and check out those upcoming dates, and a link to my special Trash Daddy is on there too. Watch that. It's available for free on YouTube, so check it out. Keep watching our shit. We appreciate it. Make a hit.
That's right. And WeLoveCorey.com for all my bonus stuff. Also, if you're a Twitch person, I just started a Twitch page, and I've been streaming some Tiger Woods, and we've been having a lot of good times. You'll see it pop up on all your socials. I'm still trying to build a following, but it's fun. I'm streaming video games. I'm answering questions from the chat. And no, just for all the weird people, I'm not giving up any other thing that I'm doing. I'm just also streaming video games for all the people who've been like, no, don't do this. Why? Don't watch it. But I've had some really good numbers, man. It's been fun. So check that out. And also listen to Putting on Airs and get you some merch at StayFancyMerch.com. But in the meantime, thank you all for listening to the Well Read Show. We'd love to stick around longer, but we got to go. Tune in next week if you got nothing to do. Thank you. God bless you. Good night and skew.
Whoop. Fart.
I'm coming, little buddy.